adventures where we roam and explore. A family of treasure hunters seeking more and more. With magnets we fish for trash and treasures deep below. Metal detecting in the fields where secrets grow. Cleaning up our world, one place at a time. Making a difference, one step at a time. Together we're stronger, a family of might. Protecting our planet with all of our might. We're cleaning up our world, one place at a time. Making a difference, one step at a time. Together we're stronger, a family of might. Protecting our planet with all of our might.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. Risha's running around trying to get the pool all set up and all of that fun stuff. So she's leaving me to myself today. We'll go through and say hello to everybody. Hello, Dorothy. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Hello, Mark, T, Ken. Hello, Brian. And the other Brian, Tri-Valley, I'll be seeing you in just 3 days, I think. Hello, Joy. Thank you for coming in. T, I think I said hi to you. I'm not sure if I didn't. Hello, T. Hi, Pop. Hi, 513. Hi, Frank. Hi, Mary. Mr. Ken. I tell you, it's 86 here right now, and I'm not a warm weather person. I'd rather be a little bit cooler. Risha and I got a permission. We went to Saturday, and it's an old funeral home. Well, normally she is, Brian, but she's actually outside. She come in, then she went back out. Thank you, Joy. Said she's going to spray for weeds. We got the yard mowed all up Monday, weeded it yesterday. And then today I was getting some stuff ready for the garden. We got some onions planted, getting ready to plant some tomatoes and peppers, stuff like that. But we went to that funeral home Saturday. The week before, she had got permission talking to the guy. And we went to detect, and he didn't answer the door. And there were some people catty-cornered across the street at another old house. So we walked over, talked to them, asked them about detecting there. Like, yeah, you're more than welcome. Come detect any time. So we went back over, knocked on the door again. The guy didn't answer. So we thought, well, he gave us permission. We're going to start. Hi, J. Paul. And so we detected for probably about an hour. And I guess it was his girlfriend, come to find out, but I wasn't sure. We talked to her for a minute, but she was kind of surprised that we were there. And he come out and he's like, oh, yeah, I forgot I told you guys, or I forgot you guys were going to be here. And that's all right. And he ended up taking us inside this old funeral home, which is now his house. And Risha was in love. He's got skeleton everywhere. He's got Hannibal Lecter in there. All kinds of stuff. He took us down to the embalming room, and we went in there, and he turned the light on. It was a red flashing light. It's got the old original embalming table in there. All the old, it's got the old cabinet, all the old tools, and it's a little room downstairs. So as we walk out, Risha noticed there's like 2 wooden rails coming down. There's steps in between. the two wooden rails. And come to find out, that's where they would slide the caskets down and then back up out of there to put in the hearse. And outside, he had a hearse sitting there, an old Cadillac hearse, and it was pretty interesting. He told me I could film the whole house, but I didn't. I did film the embalming room a little bit. That'll be in a video in 3 or 4 weeks. And there's like gargoyles outside. I mean, it's really cool. So we did that Saturday, and with Sunday we went to the other permission we had acquired Saturday. And there's one house over there we've been trying for like 2 or 3 months to catch somebody home outside, get them to answer the door or something. But on the way Sunday, we seen a car backing out. So we pulled up, and it was a lady, and we asked her, and she said, well, this is my husband's house. You'll have to talk to him. But he's asleep, and it's like 9:30 in the morning. So we left, went detecting, drove back by, and there's trees and stuff, so it's hard to see. And Reese is like, there's another car sitting there. So we drove around, went up the alley, pulled in, and there's people outside. And I told him who I was looking for because all the neighbors told us his name. We talked for a little bit, and I asked him about detecting there, and he said, oh, you're more than welcome. Detect all you want. So weekend after this one, we're going to go over there, and I'm assuming it was his son that was there, and he was all interested, and he said, I'd like to try it. I said, we got an extra detector, and you're more than welcome to swing it for a little while and see if you like it or not. And we probably talked to the guy 30, 45 minutes, and he was just nice as he could be. And he said, I'm glad you guys stopped. I really enjoyed visiting with you. And so we're excited about that. It's half of a block. And he owns from the alley to the front street, and from the street here, the street over here. It's half of a block. And I told him, I said, it's going to take 2 or 3 or more trips to cover all this. And he said, just have fun. And his son was inquiring, what do you guys do with the stuff you find? I said, well, we keep it. You know, the good stuff we keep. Well, know if we sold it. No, we don't sell it. We keep it. And we're excited. Can't wait to get there and see what happens. I'd be excited if Santa stopped by for a visit. Hi, Zaxon. I missed something Mary said. Bones is a little warped. Yeah. But she loved that place. He also had an old Jeep sitting there, and he had a couple cars I would like to have. It was like a 68, 69 Firebird sitting there. Hi, Jody. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Scam alert, do not order spells or hexes from Mary. Ordered the full rain package with frog legs and not a drop of precipitation. Yeah, that's not surprising. You got to watch her, Zaxton. She's kind of like that. But we're going to meet up with Tri-Valley Brian Saturday morning. We're going to detect the permission he's got. And then we're going to get up early Sunday morning and go up towards Topeka, Kansas, just the other side, and go to an event. We've never been there before. Brian has. Hi, Wicked Digga. How you doing, brother? See how we like it. That'll be our 3rd different event. I mean, we've been to Brian's a couple times and really enjoy that and have fun. And Then we went to the Show Me Pro-Am. That was all a learning experience for us. You can't even order good spells. I know. But I think we're going to have fun at that one this weekend. We're going to try to stick to the smaller hunts. You get 300 people out there, even though it's a big field, you get 300 people, and there's people going every direction, walking all over each other. And it was kind of crazy. I mean, I know they had a lot of land that was natural hunts, but about everybody went out for the seeded part to begin with. And when you got 300 people in like a 40-acre field, that sounds like a big field, but that's a lot of people. I got 3 club hunts this year plus the Show Me. Yeah, we're going to that one with you, Brian, and then I don't know what we'll be doing later in the year after we get back this weekend. We got to gear up and get ready for our vacation. We're going to go enjoy some time with family and friends and hang out, magnet fish, metal detect. Hi, Rick. Thank you, Ken. Ken, hi, Joe. But yeah, we're excited about that new permission. I'm trying to remember what they said it was. It was kind of like a bed and breakfast type thing, but in the back, which there's trees and stuff grown up back there now, but there was like a, not a swimming pool, but like a pool where they would have fountains and things like that. And it was a place everybody gathered, I guess, back in the day. And I think the house was built around 1880, somewhere there, give or take a year or two, one way or another. And the lady across the streets lived where she lives for 63 years. And she said nobody's ever detected that place. And the guy that owns it never mentioned anything about anybody ever detecting it before. So we're hoping there's some really good stuff there. Hi, Nadia. I hope I said that right. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that, brother. I leave tomorrow for Ohio for Rose Nose Monkey Fest. Yeah, we would like to try to do that sometime. Hi, Loretta. With me still working, I only got so much vacation in a year. So we have to kind of do a little here and there. My plan is to be retired hopefully in July. I know I was going to do it a year ago, but things come up. Ken wants to know what a monkey fest is. I think they get together, Ken, and metal detect and pan for gold. I'm not positive, but I think that's what they do. Hey, Mary, do you have a little lamb? Yeah, we're excited. I know I've said it before, but last year was a crazy year. I mean, a great year for us detecting, and we were hoping this year would be as good or better. And so far, it's been better out of the gate anyway. I'm just hoping we can keep getting these permissions. I know sooner or later we're going to run out of houses in that town, the older houses. We've talked to a mailman twice, and he's like, well, I'd let you detect my place, but I don't think anything special happened there. But before we can say, hey, we'll detect it anyway, he boogies on. So we're going to catch him one of these days and get permission. Yeah. I know, Joe. Well, I'll be 63 the end of this month. Hi, Grumpy Feller. Hi, Nate. Yeah, I'll be 63 the end of this month. Risha's mad because I didn't retire at 62. But I've been putting off some surgeries I need to have before I retire and not looking forward to them. Probably when we get back from our vacation next month, I'll get those scheduled and get those over with. It'll be hot, but I'll be in the house in the air conditioning. So, hi, Annie. Yeah, we're getting better, Joe, about asking for permissions. I'm not big on knocking on the door. I try to catch people outside. The one lady we got permission for, Risha, knocked on the door 2 weekends in a row and she never answered. And the third weekend we went by, she just so happened to be outside. And she talked to her and got permission. And then the second day we were there, we were talking to the lady's daughter, and the gentleman across the street was outside. And Risha, hey, can I talk to you? And he's like, yeah. She went over and got permission there. And then while we were there getting ready to detect, there was people across the street from him out there cleaning up and got permission from them. I would rather catch people outside to get permission. I know there's a lot of people good at going up and, hi, Dave. Hope you're doing all right, brother. Yeah, I know it's late. It's a little after midnight there. But I do appreciate you stopping in. Hi, Workmans. But it's easier for me if they're outside. But I'm getting a little better at knocking on doors. Generally, what I do is I'll knock on the door and then I back away from the door so it's not like I'm crowding them right at the door. Yeah, I can understand you being shy if you get chased off. But the one lady we got permission from, I said this last week, the mailman said, oh, that'd be a great spot. But that lady's kind of mean. And when Risha went up and talked to her and she come back, said, yeah, she said, dig all you want. And we dug for probably a couple hours and she come outside and we visited probably 30 minutes, just as sweet as she could be. For work, you've learned to knock on doors and back up. Like you said, still hate doing it. Yeah, that's what I started doing. I seen somebody on a video do that. They knocked on the door and then they step back to the edge of the porch or back away from the door. So when people come to the door, it's not like you're right there and they have breathing room. I think it might help build a little bit of comfort for them. I bet it is. Hi, Larry and Jill. Thank you, Joe. But at the lady's house we were at a couple weeks ago, I found my oldest item. Yeah, it got hot today, too hot. And last night, the little beard light plays baseball. He does football. He does basketball. And he's a kindergartner. And I don't know why they have kindergartners starting their baseball games at 8:30 at night. And the team that was playing before they could play didn't get done till almost 9 o'clock. Yeah, I wish it was going to be in the 60s here. I'm not a hot weather person. people definitely need to do research, because my old properties used to have a house with the basement on it, and then it burnt, so then they covered it up with dirt and stuff. Recently I just dug up a toy. Yeah, that's awesome, J. Paul. uh yeah, it is. um their next game, I think, is they have a doubleheader next week. And I think the first game's at 6 and the second one's 7:30. But their first two games this year were at 8:30 at night, and that's too late for those little guys. Yeah, that's true, T. It's should be their bedtime. I prefer hot over cold in my bones. If I'm not, I can cool down. Yeah, I used to like summer, but I would rather cooler weather for me. And the lady that we were at a couple weeks ago, the second day her daughter showed up, and she, just by chance, her and Risha knew each other. And so they got to talking, and where she lives, she said they've been there 40 years, and there was 3 wooden little cabins on her property. And she wanted to fix them up, but at the time she said she just didn't have the money and the means to do it. And some lady stopped and offered her $5,000 for all 3 of them. I had them, and so she sold them. But one of them, she said there should be buttons galore, because it was like an old wash area. That's where they washed all the clothes. And the other one was a blacksmith shop. My cousin plays baseball, and his year one, his teammates keeps on getting hit in the head with the ball. I think it's almost teenager. But baseball can be dangerous. Yes. Yeah, that's the way with me, Joe. I used to be able to handle the heat, but several years ago I got to the point I wasn't sweating anymore, and I can't handle the heat. Like, it's 86 right now. I get out there and that heat just drains me. We're doing good, Adam. I hope you and Wendy's doing all right. Night, Dave. Thanks for coming in, brother. Yeah, I understand getting that sleep. So I've been drained all day after not getting back home till about 10:30 last night. That's 7 because that was bath time. Then stories before bed. I wish someone could read to me before bed. Ken, you're going to have to start reading the tea before bedtime. Sat in the hall heat all weekend. Yeah. The little grandson, like I say, he's in kindergarten. He's 6. Hi, Johnny Small Pepper. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate it. But they're playing in, I forget, they call it 8 something. So they're playing in an 8th grade league. I think there's one boy on the team that might be 8, and there's 1 or 2 that's 7, and the rest of the team is 6 years old. They're all kindergartners except for 1 or 2 kids. In their first 2 games, they won the first one 17 to, maybe 17 to nothing. They won the game last night 12-2, but there's 2 teams that's pretty good that they probably aren't going to beat, but they're going to give them a little competition. And the coach was like, these boys are going to be in this league 2 more years, and you see how they're playing now. I had a bad influencer. He said, can you imagine what they're going to be like in this league in the next 2 years when they're competing with kids 2 years older than them for the most part? But he likes to play the kids up. They played flag football last year as kindergartners, and they were playing, I don't remember, I think it was first or second graders. He keeps them playing up, which I understand it builds their confidence up when they're competing against older kids. And yeah, I'm kind of on the fence on that, Johnny, though, because it's good for them to play up when they can compete with kids. But when they get to some kids, it's really good. They kind of get depressed if they lose. They only lost one football game last year, and it was to a team that hadn't lost 2 years in a row. And after the game, that coach said, you're the only team in 2 years that has been able to stop us from scoring on some of the drives. So he was really impressed with our boys. Hi.
Are you still live?
Yeah, I'm still live.
Oh.
Brian said that you weren't outside. You were in the other room coloring with your crayons.
No, I don't care, Brian. I was spraying weeds and setting up the pool and fighting bees.
All right.
Bees.
Tell them good luck. Hope they win. Would you perhaps give me a drink, please?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
You will?
Oh, I forgot. When we stopped at that permission Saturday morning, we had just started detecting, and I seen this car pull up, and this lady's talking to Risha.
Oh, yeah.
So out of all of our, well, we've been detecting a little over 2 years, maybe 2.5. And you're all the time seeing people say, yep, such and such come up. A neighbor asked if we wanted to detect or whatever, and we've never been that lucky. We've always had to ask. And so this lady pulls up and she's talking to Risha, want to know what we were doing, and she was explaining, want to know what kind of finds we find and all that. And she thought it was really interesting. Thanked her for her time. They drove off.
Yeah.
Thank you. Then maybe 5 minutes later, she come back and pulled back up, and she gave Risha a card with her name and phone number. She said, that's just fascinating what you guys do. She said, we have a lot of properties. Just give me a call.
Yeah.
So we don't know what kind of properties.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. So we're going to find that out before long. But we're going to hit that other permission we got next weekend pretty hard, and we might go back the next weekend depending on, it could be one of those things that there's nothing there.
Hi, everybody. I'm all sweaty. I'm going to go take a shower.
But then again, there should be a lot of history there because that was kind of a gathering place for years. Yes, she is, Joy. Ken said, hey, Risha. So we'll see what they got. But we got permission from the lady's daughter where those little cabins were. Yeah, they do, Johnny. Not very often for us, but like I said, we've been lucky this year about getting permissions. We did stop at one house. And, of course, this house is probably in the 1880s, I would say. 1890s when it was built. And these people, this thing looks brand new. I mean, it's just. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Dimebag. Thanks for coming in. Hi, Jay. This house is just gorgeous. But he said his wife had ordered a metal detector and they were going to detect the yard. And so that was a no for us. And then there was another place. There was a house we accidentally detected for just a couple minutes a couple years ago because a person my dad knew got permission So we went over there and we get in this yard, and I mean, I dug like a wheat penny, and they dug a couple coins, and the ladies holler, "No, you're at the wrong house." Said, "You'll get thrown in jail if you get caught at that house." So we drove by there, and there's a young couple bought it, and they said they got a 12-year-old that's going to detect. But he said after he goes through the yard and finds whatever he's going to find, you guys are more than welcome to come back later on and detect here. So that's a maybe, but I'm surprised at how many more yeses that we have got permission for than no's. And fortunately, so far, and I know it's going to happen, but so far we haven't really had anybody that was hateful or rude to us. They've all been pretty polite. So hopefully that keeps up. There's another house there that we've been trying to find out who owns. We've been to the city hall. We've been everywhere. It's nobody lives there. And the grass was knee high. And the other day when we were at the one lady's house, when her daughter showed up, we was talking about that house. She said, yeah, they were mowing it when we went by. And then by the time we got down there, whoever was mowing it was gone. So we still haven't figured out who owns it. And I've got on the internet and I've looked, and it gives this weird name, but she thinks that the bank owns it and they're going to have it. They're going to sell it, but we can't find out what bank. And she said it is full of old antique furniture and stuff. So we're going to keep trying to get that one too. Can you be a little quieter in there? I knew I'd get in trouble. She's talking tough from the other room. But yeah, we're excited. You went in there and started cleaning instead of taking your shower. But I'm not sure when the video will be out with my oldest item. Jess Jenny said, Risha, my love. Jess Jenny.
Hey, Jess Jenny. My love.
I don't know if you heard her. She said, hi, Jess Jenny, my love. The thing I found has no date on it, but it was made between certain years. No, it wasn't made for punks. If it was made for punks, you would have found it.
No.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. When I found it, I'm like, I wasn't sure what I had. I posted it on ID Me and ID My Find, and Jay Don't Play has a crush on Risha.
Love you, Jay.
She said she loves you, Jay, if you didn't hear her. But yeah, Risha found that 1859 Canadian large cent, which at that time she had the oldest.
Yeah, one upper.
And then she said I had to one up her.
Every time. You don't let me have anything. No.
You had the oldest one for a while.
For a week, maybe.
It might have been 2 weeks.
I don't think so. Rude.
Well, that's why they say enjoy it while it lasts.
Wow. Wow, bro.
Night, Johnny. Thanks for coming in, brother. We appreciate it. Who knows? Next time we go, you may find something older than that.
I hope so.
I hope you do too.
Me too. I hope it's like from medieval times.
Medieval times.
Yeah,
I hope it is too.
that would be awesome.
But she found a shield nickel. Hi, Bruce.
What?
You found that
Oh, yeah.
shield nickel. And it was like 2 years before I found a shield nickel.
Yeah.
And she had V nickels, buffalo nickels. She had all that before I ever found any.
You finally got your War nickel, didn't you?
I finally got a war nickel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken said, don't forget you have the 6-foot trophy.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Ken, she don't let me forget about that trophy either.
I don't let him forget that.
Yeah, she don't let me forget. But yeah, we're excited about this weekend. Go meet up with Brian, see what we can find.
If he brings crayons, we're gonna fight.
Larry said records are made to be broken. Sorry, girlfriend. Now it's time to turn the tables. She might do it. I hope she does. I get probably more excited when she finds something than when I do. But there's probably been half a dozen times, maybe more, that one or the other of us found something and we were both shaken when we found it. The next month, we're off on vacation for 2 weeks. Go be with some family. Kick back, relax, see what all we can find. Do some magnet fishing, metal detecting, hanging out, visiting, just relaxing, spending time. Can't wait for that either. It's going to be here before I know it. And I've got to stop on my way again and see if I can find a grape shot or a cannonball. I'm stopping where they've both been found. Multiple of them have been found in this location. Yep, shout out to Mama Bird and Gentleman Prospector. Sorry, Jay. LOL. You put Jay's YouTube up and I thought I was misspelling it. LOL. I see you are a different person in my. I'm sorry. Nice to meet you. Oh, Joy. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, Ken, you know where I'm stopping. Haven't decided yet if I'm going to get up, like leave here at 2 in the morning and drive and stop there, or if I'm going to get close, get a hotel and sleep. That's what Risha wants to do, and get up the next morning and go hit that for 3 or 4 hours, because we can't check into our hotel up there till like 3 o'clock. And hopefully find a bucket lister. The first year up there, I found multiple bucket listers. The second year, I don't think I can't remember if I found any bucket listers the second year. Last year, I found multiple bucket listers again in the same spot I magnet fished for hours the year before. One of them was on the very first throw after throwing for like 6 hours in that spot the year before, and never found nothing. Now I find 3 within 5 minutes. I'm like, this is crazy. You can stay at my house that night. I'm a little over an hour from that spot. Hi.
I was just gonna say we'll see you all on the 21st.
21st. Yeah.
Hang out with my girls.
Yeah. Yeah, we are too, Jen. Time goes by fast when magnet fishing, so make sure you have enough time to get serious. Yeah. I'm going again. I want to spend at least 4 hours there. I know Risha will be worn out before that time. You know, that drive is really hard on her because she has to wake up and roll over and then go back to sleep on the trip, and that it wears her down. We are too, T. Yeah. Each year you found bucket listers. I have. The first year, a lot of people find bikes magnet fishing in the spots I've magnet fished around here or out in the country. So it's just not something I find. And then went up there. I think I ended up finding 4 or 5. And I finally did find one here last year. First one in Missouri I found. Your guest bedroom has an alligator comforter. Same with the blonde one. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter how far it is or what time we leave because Risha is going to be asleep shortly after we leave. Passenger princess, yes. I will, Mary. She'll call me a punk. But if you look in my truck, there's a pillow, maybe 2 pillows, and there's 1 or 2 blankets. If we're going very far, she will have her stuff all kicked back and asleep. Adam and Wendy, Indiana Unearthed, are at some point are going to try to have a thing. And I think it's like 7 or 8 hours from us. And Risha's like, oh, that ain't nothing. I'm like, no, not to you, because you'll be asleep. She said, I know. Risha and I are hoping while we're up there that we can do a little gold prospecting. We're going to try to remember to bring our stuff. We need to get us a sluice, a bigger sluice for the creek. Because right now all we got's that little thing is a keychain sluice. It's like 3 inches long. We did go to a place about 3 weeks ago and got some dirt and gravel and stuff that my dad said supposedly has gold there. But Risha worked in it a little bit and then she give up. But like I say, we need a bigger sluice so we can run that stuff through it. When you're having to go through that little tiny sluice, it takes a long time. Blanket, sheet, 2 pillows, and a big old snack bag for the blonde one every trip. Yeah, Jen. There's supposed to be, I think I screenshotted the creeks up there that's supposed to have gold in them. She usually don't tell me how to drive, Mary. We usually don't have that trouble. Our first trip to Wisconsin, I left here at 2 a.m. because I hate St. Louis, hate driving through it. And she fell asleep and she woke up and I said, you woke up at the wrong time. And she's like, why? And I said, look out the windshield and you could see the St. Louis Arch. And she's like, you're right. I did wake up at the wrong time. Hi, Jason. Yeah, I've looked. There's one creek that I found when I looked last year, and I haven't found it again, but I know, I'm pretty sure I screenshotted some. If not, I will do it again. I'll send it to you, Jen, when I find it. but I would like to get a sluice before we go. That way you can run, set it in the water where the water's running, and you can like take a shovel and put multiple shovels full through that sluice. If she ain't snoring, she'll be crunching. Look up Carl Madley. He's in Wisconsin somewhere, and he's on YouTube. I will screenshot that in a minute when it goes up farther on my phone so I can look it up. But I know there's a place up around Wausau that's supposed to have some gold in it. There's like 4 or 5 places where they say you can find it. But there was a place lower down that we would be going by on our way up that I found last year, but I haven't found it again this year. Yeah, I know, Mary. I've looked that up. But I don't know how far people follow that, because I know from what I was researching this state, you're really not supposed to, but people do. But we're going to try it and have fun anyway, whether we find any or not. But it would be awesome to find a few nuggets, or even just some little flakes. It'd be fun to find. Thank you, Mary. I'm going to click on the link here, screenshot it. Oh yeah, he's found some gold there. Hi, Mama. How are you doing, beautiful lady? Mama's in here.
Hi, Mama. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm taking a shower.
Okay. I think I've only made it in the chat once or twice in the last week or two in Mama's, because it's been nuts at work. I try to get on there of the mornings and get my dose of anti-mama before I start working. Yeah, Risha and I'd love to meet you and Uncle Daddy sometime too. That would be awesome. Meet up, eat some lunch or something somewhere, some dinner. Jay. And visit. We wish we could meet everybody that we see in the chat. We'll always love you too, Mama. Risha's been out working on the pool and all that and all sweaty, so she's hopped in the shower, so she's not going to make a presence tonight. Yeah, 1 more month. We're excited. After this weekend, because we got all of our metal detecting stuff ready for this weekend. Then after that, we're going to have to get that ready again, plus all of our magnet fishing stuff. Mary, I haven't seen Brockton in a long time. He used to write me, message me. I messaged him a while back, said, hey, you okay? I haven't heard anything out of you. He said, yeah, I'm doing all right, just staying busy. That was it. I think he's on some other platform besides YouTube. And He just don't see him around, don't see him in anybody's lives anymore. What is a yopper light? Carl's found something I want to. Yopper lights. I don't know what a yopper light is, T. Is that when you pull something out of the water and say, yopper, I found it? I don't know. I don't know rocks that well. I know what gold looks like. And if you're not subscribed to Auntie Mama, make sure you subscribe to her. And if you're up early of the mornings, you can sip a cup of coffee with her. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, it glows under the black light. Uper. Maybe that saying I suck at spelling, maybe. That's cool. T's having trouble with her autocorrect. Uper light. Risha's got a little black or a little UV light, the little black light flashlight. If we can remember, we'll take it. Well, maybe we can find some. I don't know. That would be cool. I know there's a lot of people that are rock hounds that know all the different rocks, but I'm not one of them. I had to pick up so many rocks as a kid. I wasn't a real big fan of figuring out what they were. Go up north and find them by the bucketful. Oh, a special kind. But are they finding them in Wisconsin, T, upper Wisconsin, or comes from New Finn? The word Uper comes from New Finland. It came to the UP of Upper Peninsula, Michigan. We can hunt night crawlers. I've done that a lot, Ken, in my time. We used to go down this one creek, and if it was a little bit rainy, there's a schoolyard, and we go up there and pick them up for fishing. Lake Superior. A couple of secret spots. That'd be cool to find. Just to have one or two. But we, where I work, they've got that affiliate company in Wausau, Wisconsin. And the manager of that was down here about a year ago. He said, if you ever want to have a tour, just come on up. They'll page me. I'll take you for a tour of the plant, but I see enough windows at work. I don't need to go tour their plant. Yeah. I used to do it a lot. We got an old cellar that's about to fall in now, but as a kid, we built a box down there in the cellar and filled it full of dirt. We'd go pick them up and put them in there, and that way when we get ready to go fishing, we'd go down there and get a few of them and go. Wisconsin comes from the Indians. Michigan came from the Newfoundlanders. Huh. Mary's learning me stuff. I'm hoping when I get to Wisconsin this year, I can find another silver spill, silver coin spill. That would be awesome. I still can't believe I did that last year. Pull 5 silvers out of one hole. That Walker and the silver quarter and 3 marks. Me and Risha were both shaking and excited. Couldn't believe that. And she found the V nickel up there. I don't know how many Indian or buffalo nickels I found up there. We can't wait. If anybody's got any good ideas on how to get permissions or what they find really effective, any information on that would be appreciated. Yeah, it was, Ken. As I pulled that dime out, went back over it, and there was another one. Then Risha come over while I was getting ready to go over it, and she said, "There's more in there." And we went to digging that out, and it's like, this is crazy. I don't know, Jay, if it can beat last year, because my birthday will already be over before we get up there this time. That's one birthday I ain't never going to forget. Finally found some caltrips and had dinner and a show that night. I can't believe I laughed that hard. Yeah. Well, we do the parks a lot around here, but we've hit the parks and we've pounded them hard. And the ones close to us, my dad, he still goes there almost every day for 2 or 3 hours, and he just beats them to death. I mean, I realize they get replenished with clad all the time and some jewelry because kids' ball games and out there playing in the park and all that stuff, but the old stuff's not getting replenished. But I think Risha likes metal detecting more than magnet fishing. I love them both. I mean, it'd be hard for me to pick one over the other because they're both so exciting. I mean, I realize you're not going to pull silver coins up with a magnet unless they're in a safe or in some kind of a metal box or something. But there's a lot of things you're not going to find with a metal detector you find in the water too, like pew-pews. And I'm sure there's some caltrips somewhere in the ground. And that's something I still haven't done. I need to do is turn my detector on and run a caltrip under it and see what number it gives. But even with that, and what tone, but even with that, there's like 4 or 5 different sizes of caltrips. So they're going to all read different anyway. And something we're getting better at that we didn't do for a long time. We just did like a lot of people get a permission, they go through and they hit high tones and move on. If we get a decent repeatable, regardless of what the VDI is or the tone, we dig it, because you just don't know what it could be. Yeah. You found some really awesome finds magnet fishing. But finding silver or gold, I mean, you can find coins, but the only U.S. coin you might find would be a 43 steel penny. That's the only year any of them had any metal in them that was magnetic. You find, well, I've found foreign coins magnet fishing. Yeah, it was those dancers that got the party started, that's for sure. They found you magnet fishing, yeah. They found a lot of people magnet fishing. I think that's how we found them or they found us. I can't remember. Met a lot of people and magnet fishing and metal detecting in the community. Oh, you did find a still weedy magnet fishing? That's awesome, Ken. That's something I would like to do, is find a still weedy magnet fishing. And when we went to that Show Me Pro-Am hunt, they had a night hunt, which you could use a headlight. And the coins were on top of the ground, but this grass was like 6 or 8 inches high. So you had to search for it. But I did find 2 still wheat pennies doing that. That's true, Mary. And it's funny if you ever watch Jen magnet fish. She'll stand in one spot and throw over and over and over and over in that spot, and she just keeps pulling stuff up out of that spot. It's like she pulls something out and it uncovers something else and it uncovers something else. It's crazy how she can just stay in one little area and find so much stuff. She's good at it, that's for sure. Well, everybody, we've been on here for a little over an hour. I think we're going to call it a night. I'm going to try to relax a little bit after not getting home so late last night. A little Beard Lights ball game. I've still got a couple videos I got to get edited. Clay's more of a mouthpiece, where Jen is the worker.
Love you guys. Sorry I didn't make it.
Love you too, Jay. Love y'all. We appreciate each and every one of you. We will probably see you again next Wednesday night and have some stories from the weekend.
About my crayons.
About your crayons?
Yeah.
Brian might bring you some more crayons. I don't
Better
know.
not. We're going to fight.
But we love you guys. The weekend after next, we're going to hit that new permission. So hopefully we have some good stories from that.
Yes.
But we will see you all next week. Thank you for all the love and support. We truly appreciate each and every one of you.